Just got time for a quick video here. My cousin, actually my wife's cousin, uh, is up from Texas for Christmas and visiting family members, and so we're going to be visiting with their family a little bit this afternoon. And several months ago, he sent me a box full of mesquite wood from Texas, and he's a woodworker, cabinet maker down there, so he works with mesquite off and on. And he just saved a whole bunch of curly pieces and little odds and ends for me and sent them up in a box. And I wanted to make him a thank you knife. And I was going to film this process, but my camera battery's dead. So I was able to run in the house here and take a couple pictures with my webcam. But here is the knife. And as you can see, well, it's not actually that easy to see in this light for some reason, but there we go. It has a Hamon, this hardening, there we go, this temper line right here. You see that lighter colored line running on the blade, and you can see it on that side too. But actually turned out nice. It's easier to see in real life than on the camera here, looks like, but got my maker mark on there. And this is that mesquite wood. You can see it's kind of a grainy, curly piece, and just some black micarta for the bolsters there. But man, this knife is so sharp. I cut the tip of my finger off. I was just sanding a tiny bit and got too close to the edge. Man, it bit me and wouldn't stop bleeding. But this thing is like amazingly sharp. So, anyway, cool knife. First real kind of more successful, I guess, Hamon. I might need to etch it a little longer or something like that. But that's that. So I got my cousin's knife, or my wife's cousin's knife, done just in time. I was able to design it, cut it out, grind it, heat treat it, put the handles on, make a Kydex sheath, just in time to get it to them this afternoon. I started about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was done about 3 or so. And it's a little bit rough, but it looks nice, and the mesquite turned out good, I think. So anyway, I wasn't able to film part of the process because my camera battery had died, and so I had so much fun doing it, and I thought of some things I would do different. So I made this really quick video for you. I picked up some scraps off of steel off of the floor of my shop and made a little blade. I made this little sort of straight razor blade, and went through the process, which is pretty funny. I want to show you, and you can see what the results are too. Here's the two little scraps I picked up off the floor in my shop. They're $10.95, and I ground this little straight razor blade. I hollow ground it. All the old straight razors I've seen are hollow ground, and I checkered or put some jimping on the handle. Sorry, I can't focus it very well for some reason. But anyway, that's what we're starting with. Here's my super secret mix. This is actually mud, clay mud that I dug up beside the stump of my outside anvil. And I mixed a little vermiculite with it and water, and stirring it up here in a container. There's where I dug it up. So next, I just heated the blade up a little bit with the torch, just to get it warm. Didn't heat it too hot, just enough for the steel to be warm. Then I just took an old paintbrush and coated the blade with my super secret Hamon mud, and just kind of got it evenly on both sides, and then just hit it with the torch a little bit. And then I just kind of took an old knife blade and kind of manipulated the mud a little bit, got it thinner in spots like this to try to make a little bit of a design. You can see it sticks pretty good. And I did the other side just like that too. Then I took the paintbrush and put some watery mud just over the bare spots that I had scratched into the blade with the knife. And just repeated that on the other side. This is just to make sure the steel's a little bit protected because it's going to be a really fast quench. And just dried it with a torch, and you can see the vermiculite glowing there. It stuck really good to the blade. And then just stuck it in the forge to do a little heat treating. After quenching it, this is what it looks like. I quenched it, dipped it in water just for a second, and then into oil. Just rubbing off the clay and the residue. Oh, I think I see a Hamon. Yep, I do. Then I just ground it again, kind of polished it a little bit like this, and getting it ready for the etch. I'm going to etch this blade in ferric chloride, and it looks shiny now and even. We'll see what the pattern looks like once it's etched. So just stick a piece of thread that I stitch up my sheaths with through the little pivot hole like that, and then just dip it right into the ferric chloride. I'm going to let it sit in here fully submerged for a couple of minutes. Make sure that the whole blade is underneath the ferric chloride. This is ferric chloride mixed with water, and you have to mix ferric chloride with water to get it to really cut, and if you warm it up a little bit, that helps too. So I'm just adding a little bit more here to make sure that the blade is fully covered. And we'll just let that sit and etch real good. Okay, so it's been etching for several minutes now. Oh yeah, I see the pattern coming out on it. And I'm going to stick it back in. I'll pull it out and wipe it off later and see how our etching turned out. So this is what it looks like. Is that a crazy looking Hamon or what? Man, I love that. I think the combination of coating the mud a little different and a fast quench, first in water for a couple of seconds, then quickly back into oil, gave me the results I'm looking for. I loved how this turned out, and I guess now I'm going to have to make a little straight razor. But just a really crazy pattern. I just love how that looks.